Hi, this is Extinct Tube, and I'm going to make a little video. Kind of boring, so I'm just pointing it at my garden. It's the beginning of the daffodils, but there will be lots more. And this little plant, I'll show you this. This little plant is called Scylla, and it's from Siberia, blue. It spreads very quickly. I recommend getting it in a garden. So, okay. And this is my one-eyed Jack with a grass blade on his head. Okay. So, this is about, because I said I would do it, so I should. Excuse me. Oh, there go some dogs. They might be barking on the other side. I'm fighting, spend more time over there than here, fighting their weeds that are about to kill the hedge. It's been very cold, so yeah, things are not progressing. The lawn has not been cut yet, you can see. Anyway, Noodle Mash made a video, and it was titled, A Choice Was Made. It was on the 28th of March, and there were two lies, or distinct tells, I should say, in her video. This is pretty boring, but I'll try to make it fast. Okay, the first thing was about her dead teeth, and that she can only get dentures every 3 years on her medical insurance. But then she clarified it that she's not going to get them because because of her disease in her face. And she said, okay, this is the tell. Before it was always Sjogren's, which is, it has to do with your salivary and tear ducts only. Okay, but she says it's melting the bones in her face and blah, blah, blah. Well, now there's a disease plus Sjogren's. There is no faciocranial disease that changes the bones in your face. Okay, and furthermore, let's talk about nostrils. The part of the nose there, it is cartilage and soft tissue. There's no bone. There's no anything there. Her nose looks the way it looks, and you know the nostril art is just because she's lying about it, as she lies about just about every medical condition she has, because she either has Munchausen or is a malingerer, and for money. So, okay, so she said that she has another disease. I hope that's not too loud. Okay, Davide, shh, Fumo, Davide, nine. He's gonna keep going. He barks more. That's his old age thing. Can you see he has his head under the fence? Anyway, so now it's not just Sjogren's, it's Sjogren's plus something else, which nothing exists. And she also said that she can't get dentures because of her soft palate. She said that if she opened her mouth and you looked in, her palate is very low. Well, there's a couple of things that can cause that. One is having a problem with your uvula, and so that could be it. It certainly doesn't affect the nose or the bones in her face, but and she says it's hereditary, no less. So all this time, 3 years, and she doesn't know what it is because it doesn't exist. And okay, so then the soft palate. If you get dentures, okay, that's part of your hard palate. Okay, that has to do with the bones under your teeth in your jaw, and so it's all a story. It's bullshit. It's a lie, and yeah, but she's feeling very very happy to have assumed her full bullying role, and a lot of it has to do not so much with Amy as Granny Fanny. She does like the men's. Anyway, probably Vlad does too. So we'll go on to the second tell now. because, yeah, this is pretty boring. I just, well, she's boring. So, um, okay. So the second thing was John's felony. John Seifer's felony that they didn't want getting out. He stole, this has been the story for, I don't know, 2 years now. He stole food and a lottery ticket. They must be the luckiest people on the planet to steal the only ticket that wins, which is amazing, right? So we can be certain that he only stole one ticket, and people are saying that he worked in a convenience store. Well, then he would have a salary, and then he wouldn't need to be stealing anything. I don't know if that's true. She hasn't said that. I have always wondered why neither of them worked, why they were as, why they were as they are. Nay, Fumo. Nay. Nay, nay. No barking. Nay, ik agree. Nay. No. Thank you. If I say thank you, that helps rather than saying stop. Oh, here's my girl who just turned 16. You can see she can barely stand on her back hip. Flora. Flora. She can't hear. Curly. Nope, doesn't work. She knows I'm here. She can't see too well either. But she's happy. She likes the heat and she likes the grass. And she's thinking about who knows what. I wish the ducks that have moved in would show up, walk by, but anyway. So John, they were hungry. So that's why you commit crimes, because you're hungry. They had each a mother nearby at the time, or maybe her mother had moved by then to another state. I think it was, no, I don't know what it was. So we couldn't ask for food, and there were no food stamps or government food, nothing. They were that hungry, huh? So so what we've heard from the beginning is they stole food. Oh, sorry, he stole food and a lottery ticket. And he got caught, and it became a felony because a lottery ticket is a form of currency, legal tender. And so when he cashed it in, they caught him. But the story was a little bit different in this last live because he didn't steal food then. He stole a lottery ticket, and he used that money to buy food. And when he used the money that he got from the lottery ticket to buy the food, then they knew that he had stolen it, which is a very strange, twisted story. That's because we don't know the story. We've been lied to all along. She's a terrible liar. She can never keep her story straight. So you're starving to death, even though Shannon can't eat because she has a problem with food, and it's the insulin that made her fat, not her lifestyle. So he stole the money, and he stole the lottery ticket, cashed it in, and when he went to buy food with the money he got, then he got arrested. That's the new version of it. Before, he had stolen food and a lottery ticket. I don't know how easy it is to steal a lottery ticket. I don't know how it works with, I suppose, when you go to cash it in, they'll see that it was never purchased. I don't know much about it. Are there other cases of how people steal lottery tickets, and who else might have been involved? You know, it might have been a whole thing. And how many other times did he steal lottery tickets? Besides that one time. How many that time and how many other times? One has to wonder. It just seems like an easy thing to pocket, right? Or a bunch of them even, when you're asking for a pack of cigarettes. Oh, speaking of cigarettes, they're both, at the time, they were heavy smokers. She smoked 3 packs a day of Marlboro Reds. So That's 3 for her and maybe 2 for him. So 5 a day. I will bet you anything they didn't do without their cigarettes. So, but they were starving. So they could afford cigarettes, but not food. Well, it's bullshit anyway. His mother was around, her mother was somewhere, and they could have said, hey, we really need some food. And, instead they think, oh, well, you know what? I'll ask people that I don't care about at all to give me money. Because that's how it always is with them. That's what she did to Jess Ruby. It's terrible. It's so cruel and mean and selfish and greedy and entitled. So, one ticket, the luckiest people on the planet, and this is going back 10, 20, 30 years. 30 years ago he did this. And they're still in the same position today. They're still living the same way. That tells you that despite the fact that he has a job, and he might have had one then, they don't budget. They don't take care of what's important first. Just like the evictions, an eviction is a way of stealing. That's how I see it. You don't pay rent for God knows how long, and then you're evicted, and then you lived for free during that time. So they've had quite a number of evictions, and yeah, with the dumbest excuses you've ever heard in your life. Does anybody remember them? Her son had to go in the hospital, asthma, the youngest son, and so they couldn't move. They just couldn't move. They couldn't move, and the landlord was so mean. Well, these things are planned out, right? You sign an agreement. It's a contract. It's stealing somebody else's property, literally property. And so they had to be in the hospital with him. Well, let's see. There was her, 1 or 2 mothers, correct? His brother and Banjo. She named him Banjo, not me. Banjo is my property, but the idea of the banjo, but she named him Banjo. I didn't. It's ridiculous. That banjo had nothing to do with him whatsoever, ever. And boy, she really wants that to be true. Because it involves children. It had nothing to do with her child, the whole thing. But it was a great, great, great meme. I don't care what anybody says. It was hysterical. So, yeah, for so many reasons. The Mountain Dew, the Daisy Dukes, her expression, her size, her not so quite size 0 legs. It's so funny. The couch. Okay. Oh, there he goes. We'll watch him. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. So, yeah. So, what was I talking about? Yeah. So there were all these people, and they had to move. And we do know that they're hoarders, but apparently, everybody and their brother had to be in the hospital for an asthma attack. And of course, she said he almost died. That is probably not true. He's an avid runner now, so I guess the asthma's a thing of the past. But she puts the blame on the landlord, that the landlord was so cold and callous to them because they're entitled to stay longer. Because her son had to go in the hospital. Yeah, there's always a story. There's always an excuse. And so they couldn't move because one person couldn't stay in the hospital with her son. Everybody did. Nobody else could help them. All their friends, they have so many friends. Why didn't they help them move? Yeah. So they're out here because I'm here. Wherever I am, that's where the dogs are. And, yeah. So, let's see what else. So they have evictions. And they are used to letting other people foot the bill for them, whether it's the government, whether it's, God knows, her family, his family, who knows how much they have contributed and got tired of contributing. Friends, they slept on a friend's couch because two people in their 20s are homeless because they don't work. Yeah. What else? I just find it amazing that 30 years later, they're in the same position. And why are they asking for food now? That started in, what was that, in August, maybe? The food thing? Well, first she grew her own food, but now they're asking for food, and it was cans of food, and some strange food at that, on Amazon. And that's because, her grift is getting old. It has been getting old for 2 years now. And so if you ask for food, well, who could deny you food? You're hungry. You're hungry. People have to eat. That's what she likes to say. You gotta eat. Really? No, you don't. You have insulin. So if you ask for food, who, like Jess Ruby, could deny you food? And if it wasn't Jess Ruby, she'd make the next contact and the next and the next until somebody said, my God, Shannon is wasting away. Let's get her some food. Don't even call it food anymore. Call it groceries. We need groceries. Refrigerator's completely empty. The cupboards are empty. Oh, I just thought of a joke. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her daughter a dress. But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so was her daughter, I guess. Nursery rhymes reinvented. I hope he didn't bark and ruin what I said. Oh, Fumo. Cut it out. Night. Hey, shush, no barking. Okay, I'll tell you another one. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Each of them had a quarter. Jill came down with 50 cents. You think they went up for water? I like that. Let's see, do I have another one? Oh, I'm not going to say that one. Okay, so I'll just go back to the story. Yeah, they had no food whatsoever. So if you give them money for food, in quotes, okay, air quotes, then they can use the money for other things. And she said, yes, I'll show you receipts. But the thing is, if they don't have to spend money on food or whatever, then they all around, they have more money. And so by asking for food, it's the easiest thing to get people to agree to. So it's sort of the last ditch grift. And that's the story. That's what I have to tell you. Those are two tells, two lies, so to speak, in that live. Choices are made, or something like that it was called. It was on the 28th of March. And I hope I haven't kept you too long, because of the what do you call it? Dementia. You know you're doing well when you can't remember the word dementia. Anyway, things are more fluid in my brain, and they just sort of float around a little bit, and they're not locked onto. So I drift a little in speaking. Okay. Well, anyway, let's hope this worked. And everybody have a wonderful day. And yeah, what do you think of these stories? You know, I'm going to steal a lottery ticket because I'm starving to death, and maybe I'll win, and then I can buy food. I'd love to know how this whole thing really played out. Wouldn't you? I would. Goodbye, everybody.